Hello everybody, welcome back to another 5-Minute Stories with Miss Ashley. Today I have a great story to share with you from West Africa. It is an ancient tale that is about our favorite friend, the spider. Can you make a spider with me? Put one hand on top of the other just like this and wiggle your fingers up and down your spider. Well, in this story, the spider starts out just like an ant. He's got a big body and teeny tiny little legs, and his name is Anansi. And we're going to learn how Anansi the spider got his long legs. So once upon a time, Anansi the spider, who was a very clever spider, was very hungry, and he decided, I'm not going to make my own food. I'm going to go to my friend's house and see what they're making. So he went over to his friend the monkey and he said, good day to you, sir. And what delicious aroma do you have coming out of your kitchen today? And the monkey said, well, I'm cooking beans. Would you like some? I said, yeah. And of course the spider, Anansi, said, yes, I would very much like to eat those beans. And this monkey said, well, they're not ready just yet, but when they are, I can let you know. And so Anansi pulled some of his thread out from his back, and he said, no problem, take this piece of thread. And he tied the other piece to his little leg. And he said, when the meal is ready, let me know by just giving this a little tug, and I'll come and eat the beans. And the monkey agreed, and Anansi went on his way. But you know what? Anansi was still hungry, so he decided to stop over at his friend Elephant's house. And he went to his friend Elephant's house, knocked on the door, and said, hello, Elephant, what are you cooking today? And Elephant said, why, I am cooking the most delicious boiled peanuts ever. And Anansi said, oh, those sound good. May I have a couple? And his friend the elephant said, of course you can, but they're not ready yet. And so Anansi pulled out another piece of thread and handed it to his friend the elephant, and he tied the other one onto another one of his arms, another one of his legs. And he said, just pull this thread when it's ready and I'll come running. And he went on his way. And he was still hungry, so he decided to stop at another friend's house. And his friend the gazelle was cooking smushed bananas. And so those weren't ready either, so he pulled out another thread and he gave it to his friend Gazelle, tied it to another leg, and told him to tug on the thread when he was ready. And Anansi went on his way, and as he was going, he stopped at all of his animal friends' house, and he asked them if their food was ready, and it wasn't ready yet, so he gave them each a piece of his thread, tied it to all 8 of his legs, and told them to pull when it's ready. And he decided while he was waiting that he would take a nap in the shade of a tree. And so Anansi lay down to take a nap, and he started to dream about all the delicious foods he was going to eat, the boiled peanuts and the smushed banana and the delicious beans. And then he started to feel a little tug on one of his legs, and he said, oh, yum, the beans are ready. And so he woke up and started to get up to get his beans when all of a sudden he got another tug. Oh my goodness, the smushed bananas are ready. And then he felt another tug and another. And all his friends started to tug at the exact same time. And he said, oh dear, who should I go to first? And you know what? His friends weren't the most patient type. And they began to tug even harder. So they said, come on, Anansi, the food is ready and I don't want to wait anymore. And you can imagine poor Anansi. His leg was tugged this way, and his leg was tugged this way, and that leg was tugged that way, and that way, and that way, and that way, and that way, until all of a sudden, pop! All of his legs popped, and they stretched out until they were so long. And by then, all of his friends said, well, I guess he's not coming. And they dropped the strings and they gave up. And poor Anansi, he's laying there on the ground. And when he got up, he had to learn how to use his long legs. And from that day on, the spider had long legs. And you know what? He learned his lesson too. He decided not to be lazy, but to use his thread to build a web to catch his prey, which really his favorite food was flies. So, and he learned how to do that all by himself with his long, long legs. And that's the end of the story. And here is your literacy tip for today. The Anansi stories are some of my favorite stories to share with the kids because they always have a great lesson in them, and they're just fun, anthropomorphic animal stories to share. So this story teaches children that, it's the folly of being lazy, and it's also the folly of doing too many things at once. So if you've got too many things that you're waiting on, and you have all of your hands all in the different place, it can happen just like Anansi, where he finds his situation, he finds himself stretched in so many different directions. So it's cute, it's silly, and it has a little lesson too. This is also a really fun one to do a craft with as well. There are loads of them that you can find online. My favorite one is when you have all of his little accordion legs. You fold them just like you would fold a fan, and you put them on the back of his body, and you use a glue dot, or you can glue them on, and you hold it, and when you're ready to have him pop his legs, you just drop them and they pop. So that's a fun one to do. And it's also a great one to act out with the kids having all of their arms reached. You can even, if you have more than one kid, you can have your kids stand in a line and reach their arms out all different ways. So it's a lot of fun, family fun to have. Thank you and have a great day. Happy reading.